Well, ladies and gentlemen, as you can tell, we are back in my old room at home. I am back with a shorter, yet still slightly long hairstyle, and we are back in an era, in a time, where WWE has decided to create terrible names for their pay-per-views. The Horror Show at Extreme Rules. That's the actual name for the show. That's garbage. Hello everybody, how are you all doing? My name is Dominic, of course, from GrappleNation, and we are back with predictions time once again, this time for Extreme Rules 2020, or, and I can't stress this enough, the Horror Show at Extreme Rules. That's the actual name for a pay-per-view. Not to mention the fact that this is not spooky October times. No, this is the Horror Show at Extreme Rules in July with a horrific name for a pay-per-view. Why are people not complaining about this more? I have no idea. However, hopefully the show can live up to the hype. Does it have hype? I'm not really sure. I am not excited for this show in the slightest. But I don't know, maybe we'll have some fun watching it because I'm just going to announce it right now. We are going to be doing a live watch-along for this pay-per-view as well, so hopefully you guys can join us. However, without further ado, let's get into the predictions. So the first match we're going to predict is the Eye for an Eye match. The only match that I'm actually looking forward to, as we've got Rey Mysterio taking on the Messiah himself, Seth Rollins. Now, this could go a few ways, actually. Out of all of these matches, this is the least predictable for me, because you see, Rey Mysterio is kinda not with WWE right now. Like, he doesn't have a contract? However, on the other side, Seth Rollins in just a few short months is going to be a papa, a dada, and as such, Seth Rollins could also lose this match. Either way, though, the loser of this matchup will, be like written off of television, because how do you rip somebody's eyeball out of their socket and they just show up to work the next day? I mean, how are they even going to do the eyeball thing? I have no idea. Either way, I think Seth is going to win this because he's the Messiah and he's all like, I don't know, religious-y, and that's kind of a saying. The eye for an eye is sort of a religious sort of saying, so I think that's just gonna be what happens. Then Rey Mysterio can go on and fight somewhere else because he doesn't have a contract anymore. Next up, the United States Championship matchup featuring Apollo Crews and MVP. Now, I love me MVP, okay? I haven't properly said this in a public forum, but MVP, when I was a kid, no joke, one of my top 5 guys. Just something about him, I always loved MVP. I felt like he was such a good mid-carder. Like, I can't see him winning, like, a WWE championship, but, like, as the U.S. champion, when he had that run with the U.S. title, like, for some reason in my head, MVP just is the United States champion. However, following this night, he will not be U.S. champion, because I think Apollo Crews is going to retain. I think they're slowly trying to build Apollo Crews, which I'm into. I mean, I've always kind of liked Apollo Crews. This run with the U.S. title can do that thing where instead of the guy making the title, hopefully the title will make the guy and he can leave the championship picture, hopefully being a more regular part of Monday Night Raw or SmackDown, of course. However, either way though, I think MVP is going to lose this, and I think Apollo Crews is going to retain. Following that, let's just jump into the weird one, the Wyatt Swamp fight between Braun Strowman and, I guess, old Bray Wyatt? I guess? I don't know. I think Strowman's gonna win this. This feels very much like the feud is sort of trying to do its thing where it kind of draws itself out a bit too much for The Fiend to win the championship either in front of people or just at SummerSlam in general. Next up into the more normal territory, as we've got Bayley taking on Nikki Cross for the SmackDown Women's title. I would love it if Nikki Cross won this. Like, I am a fan of Nikki Cross. She is great. But Bayley is going to win this. Bayley, there's no way. The woman Bayley loses that title to will be Sasha Banks, or it will be with Sasha Banks involved in the finish. And considering the fact that Banks is already in a match later on against Asuka in a few moments, we'll get to that. I think Bayley is just going to retain the title. I think she's going to hold that title maybe SummerSlam. I really don't know. If I thought she was going to lose that title ages ago for some reason. It just feels like she just would have lost it by now. But hey, you know what? They're making Bayley a really long championship holder, so that's good for her. Following up the Raw Women's Championship matchup, we've got Asuka taking on Sasha Banks. This is the match that's going to steal the show, I think. I think this is the match that will steal the show. Asuka. She's going to win. Following that, a match to be determined, as Wikipedia tells me, for the WWE Championship. We've got Drew McIntyre versus Dolph Ziggler. Drew McIntyre. That's who's going to win. I don't care. I don't care about Dolph Ziggler. I hate to be the hater of Dolph Ziggler. I hate to be that guy. I've never gotten it. I've never gotten Dolph Ziggler. Maybe someone can tell me. You know what? If you're still watching this point, tell me in the comments why you like Dolph Ziggler or why you did like Dolph Ziggler. He just wasn't my guy. He just wasn't my guy. And he's not going to be the guy walking away with the WWE title because Drew McIntyre is going to retain. It doesn't matter. But yeah, that's going to be the end of this predictions video here. Of course, you got to remember that we will be doing a live stream reactions of the event, so stay tuned for that. Hopefully you can join us to watch this show that I do not have very high expectations for. I don't care. This is a filler pay-per-view. This is a filler, dumb pay-per-view. Maybe it'll be fun, but it's a filler pay-per-view. Anyways, if you guys like this video, please let me know by hitting the like button down below. Comment anything you want to comment. Subscribe if you haven't already. But if you have, why not hit the bell to be notified of everything we do here on GrappleNation? Of course, my name is Dominic. Have a good day. Oh, I don't care about this pay-per-view at all. I just don't. I don't give a shit.